It's And Just Like That, Season 1, Episode 10, Seeing the Light. Charlotte throws herself into planning the ultimate transformation ritual for her child. Che upsets Miranda and all of us. After a difficult year, Carrie tries to find closure. Hey, 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 hey.
Here we are. We're a little late this week. Hopefully nobody freaked out too much or even noticed.
Someone's like, they canceled their whole podcast. Oops. Anyway, the reason we're late is because if you missed it, maybe you're just listening on the podcast places. Hey, babies. Maybe you're watching us on YouTube. Hey, babies. Or maybe you're one of our Patreon members who's listening somewhere else. If you are, you may have missed our YouTube exclusive Halloween live, and Amanda and I dressed up.
It was cute. It went well. Look, Jonna just returned from a 2-week trip to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. You got your bronze glow now going.
I am so pale. I don't really tan at all, but yay.
Well, anyway, yes, but we were a little tired, or you were definitely tired. I was also tired. I had to go from Tony Padron from Sister Wives straight into Galinda. John had to see, as when I watched it back, I was like, I mean, it does suck that you had to put on green. It was a lot more for you. Like, that sucks. To have to wake up right after a trip and then be like, I need to paint myself green. It's fine. And the nails.
Only bad part was my face just hurt the rest of the day, etc. What you need to do, though, is what I'm saying here, guys, is check it out. If you're just listening, go over to our YouTube. It's youtube.com/@podandthecity. And check it out. Halloween 2025 live, baby. Also, you could subscribe. You could hit like over there. You could hype. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, what you should do, you should go down to the bottom, or not the bottom, but like under where like our name is and stuff. Find the thing that says hype and push it. Push it. Push it.
I found some stuff out about the hype. I'm sure you already know this, but you have one. Videos can only be a week old for you to be able to hype them. And some people, for some reason, just don't have the ability. And I don't know what, there's like one or two people over at my other pod that are like, we went through like step by step and they're like, it's just not happening for me. But you can check, and you can't like your own videos either. But you go to like where you click into like the comments or the live comments or like ask a question and you scroll over and it'll say hype. And then you just click hype. And it gives you a bunch of points, like 2,000 points you can hype it to. So do that for us. It's free.
I hyped a couple of our videos on my other accounts. What you should do, though, is hype us. It helps push it out to people because, baby, we need it. We need the subscribers because we get 2, then we lose 1.
Well, also, and just like that just ended and we were getting momentum, but you know what? We're getting into Christmas. We're going to have some fun Christmas stuff coming up. We need to figure out what to do.
Speaking of, check out our deep dive episodes and just like that, worst side characters. Last week, we ranked the episodes of season 1 of And Just Like That. And we've done a bunch of these. And Just Like That ruined Aiden, Charlotte, Miranda, and of course, our Carrie. I will say this finale.
But not as much as the series finale. But the series
I didn't
finale
hate it as much on the rewatch as I did the first time, though.
You didn't hate it as much.
No, and I hated Rock less this episode. Yes. I will still hold on, and I understand. The last time we did have someone say, they had gone through a similar situation and, religious trauma is a bitch. Trust me, y'all, I agree. But in my opinion, Charlotte and Harry are like the most supportive parents you could ever have. So
in any circumstance.
So maybe there is a tiny bit of a thing where like Rock could have just been like, okay, I'll go up there. And then tomorrow, like, it's, I'm done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Say again. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
If Rock just would have gone up and done it, and then like tomorrow been like, I'm not Jewish or whatever. Like,
there are certain circumstances where I think that, like, I do think that kids need to just also learn that, like, and I mean, as woke as we're getting, there are some circumstances where you kind of do just have to suck it up and just do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
But that has nothing to do with wokeness. I would say that you should do it because your parents have spent all the money. All those people are there watching.
Yes.
And now it's just like, okay.
Okay, so do you feel the same way about a wedding? Because I actually feel like,
just gonna say, I think that honestly, you should stand up there. It doesn't mean you're signing anything, but
that is true.
You're gonna go away from the altar and then nothing happens at the, like, I don't know. I mean,
that's a really good point that I've never thought of. Everyone should just go through with it. Just because nothing happens officially at that wedding. The
very next day, you could literally be like, here, I'm sorry, here's your gift back. I'll give you your things back. I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's where I'm a bit of a fuddy-duddy, or I'm just like, they spent all the money. Speaking of spending all the money, okay, we have we've done all our deep dives, we've done all of our things. If you're somehow just popping in here, check out all of our other stuff, because we talked about really what was the downfall of And Just Like That and like what went wrong. And one of the biggest things was how we discussed how like they overspent money on this show to such an extreme. And if you just are watching this one episode, the amount of set pieces and full crowds of people, they have entire crowd of people in this bar for Che's performance.
And they'd all, so if there's 100 people in there, they're each getting paid $150.
Maybe they didn't even have 100, but like,
if there's 50 people, they're each getting paid $150.
I just feel like logic would have, like, I don't know, if I were creating the show, I would have been like, okay, tell me that piece. Fine. There were much better ways to tell Miranda you were going to California.
There are so many. This is what you landed on? There's so many funny ways she could have found that, or actual real life devastating ways, like Che is just gone or something.
Though I will say, Miranda's acting is so god awful in that scene. She's like, what's happening? Wait, do you know what's going on? I'm like, I hate this woman. Then, second huge set piece full of characters dressed in elaborate outfits, Smoke and Bobby Lee's wedding.
Oh my God, what a good point too.
And tell me, what did that scene even
It was just so Carrie could see Franklin again.
She saw him at the podcast office multiple times in the same episode.
How about this? She runs into him on the street.
On a set.
You live in Manhattan.
Runs into him outside of Hot Fellas where you're already filming anything.
Great. Yeah, when you're already filming. At a diner. You're at dinner with the girls Franklin walks by.
1 freaking second later, you are at this They Mitzvah that you have wasted no expense on designing and decorating this. There is a moment where the women are standing, which it's lovely. This is gorgeous looking, but they're standing in front of just this massive floral situation that is packed, absolutely packed with roses. This one floral arrangement had to have cost $5,000 or more. And
the fact that I thought, I said this on the live a few days ago, that I think that that one scene takes place in a bathroom just so that it could be shoved in our face that the trans woman is using the woman's bathroom, not even to make any kind of point, but the fact that they even needed a separate they need to have that conversation in the bathroom. Just have it in the room in a little corner. You have a whole now bathroom set piece.
I would say my biggest annoyance in that scene was that these 60-year-old women are being taught a life lesson by what? A 28-year-old rabbi? I mean,
yeah. She kind of overstepped that. I gotta say, she overstepped a bit. I'm like, why don't you mind your own fucking beeswax? Were you taking a shit in there? Because you certainly stayed. Oh, I do
really
too.
like that actress. She's been in a couple of, like, she was in the Barbie movie, but she was also in a movie. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was about like 4 girls who like go on a serial killing spree kind of thing.
All right. No, she's
fabulous.
Yeah.
But why? What choice was it? Like, I can see this, and this person is like, now this friendship here is the important thing. Sweetie, they don't know that. This show makes no sense. It chases logic in a way that drives me up the wall.
And
so
don't you just feel like as you're watching the whole season, it's just here's a checked box, here's a checked box, here's a checked box, here's a checked box.
I actually don't, because I don't think they thought things through enough to actually think that they had that they were trying to mark things off. I don't think that they thought this through at all. I was thinking about it before I rewatched it, and I can only go back to the timeline of this season and how it makes no sense. And how they're like, oh, it's been a year since Big died. But we watched almost a year transition in one scene of Carrie typing. So how is it a year?
Yeah. Well, 3 seasons. Yeah. You go through 3 seasons.
And then she also healed from her entire hip and was walking in heels in one episode. So I'm just confused. How long have Che and Miranda been together?
Well, but this is also the 1-year anniversary of Big's death when she drops the ashes. So so the whole season is 1 year.
I feel
that's all we know.
Seemed like it would be longer.
Yeah. So how long have Miranda and Che been together?
I don't know, because at the beginning, wasn't Carrie doing the podcast from episode 1?
Yes.
So
yeah,
Che and Miranda have, like, maybe the finger banging happened. Oh, well, that happened when Carrie had
met. Yeah, they met at the funeral, so they've known each other a year, and then they got together during the hip surgery.
Maybe like 2 to 2. That can't be long after, because that's passing of the 3 seasons happens after the hip surgery.
And she was in her apartment. So she had was she like living in her apartment again when she had, because I know that,
I think, doesn't she go back to her apartment because of the hip surgery?
No, Seema, we meet Seema in where she buys the new bougie apartment. Then she can't get the dishwasher light to turn off or whatever, or the ringing to turn off. So she moves back to this apartment. And then we find out about her hip surgery when her bad hip, when she's walking up the stairs with Seema of her old apartment.
Oh, yeah.
And she grabs that umbrella, even though there's a handrail.
The handrail.
Yeah. So they've known the finger bang, but then a couple months ago, how long was Che ghosting Miranda? Like a month or 2.
This does, again, it's actually almost pissing me off to try and even assess it, because it makes no freaking sense.
I have it, because they finger bang in the surgery. Let's say that's 2 months after the death, right? Because that's when Carrie first gets horny again for her chiropractor or whatever, right? So let's say 3 months, okay? Then Carrie says, and just like that, 3 months later, I was wearing heels. So that's 3 months. And the next episode, Che is still ghosting Miranda. So she ghosts her for 3 entire months. They ghost her.
So now they've been together for like
6 months.
6 months at this point.
Okay.
We can start at the beginning of the episode, because I have thoughts all throughout. I will say the most annoying part to me this whole episode is when Miranda is at the They Mitzvah and is like, frothy cappuccinos, yes! Or whatever.
Super frosty cappuccino. And it doesn't go anywhere. We must have addressed that the first time that because it stands out. I've watched this twice in the past couple of weeks, and it stands out like a sore thumb both times I watched it. It was super frothy cappuccino, I think she says.
Yeah, it's super frothy cappuccino. Super foamy cappuccino. And then Charlotte's like, yeah, I think the coffee hour is going well or something.
What a weird line reading. Is it the way Cynthia's? Because you could play that normally,
it comes
right?
out of nowhere. And I feel like they're trying to portray that we've entered the middle of a conversation or something. But the way that this show is paced, everything has like a beat before it. So they're standing there awkwardly for like a millisecond, and then Cynthia
and they go
super foamy cappuccino in such a.
Was it a sight gag though? Because she also has like the mustache.
I don't know. I guess that's comedy to them.
Very weird.
It stood out to me in such a way that I was like.
Do you think anyone remembers that in the Sex and the City 1 movie, there's a whole conversation about cappuccino, and that's like what leads Miranda and Steve to like break up? Their very first scene of the movie, they're like at dinner with Magda, and she's drinking cappuccino, and Steve goes, "You got some foam on your lip," and she gets pissy at him. She's like, "What? I foam on your lip?" And then they have that bad sex that night. And she's like, "Can't we just get it over with?" And the next day he tells her, "I just fucked someone else."
They never should have done that. And they should have kept Steve and Miranda together. Sorry.
No.
I hate Che. Okay, I love Che, but I hate Che. And I hate... Okay, we'll get to it. All right.
Well, here's actually, because I've been listening to that Every Outfit podcast, and they interview the person that wrote that article that got Sara Ramirez really pissed. And we get the backstory of it, and he's like, "I didn't know they were going to get so upset." And he's like, "I was just writing kind of from what happened," but he said he met them and they like did this article, this interview, and he was just like, they're just not really a fun, chill person. It was very intense. Yeah, and was taking the character very seriously, and taking the character of Che. I don't even know if this is Sara Ramirez's fault, because I think that Anne just like that wanted Che to be this beacon of like this representation of trans or non-binary culture, and like I think that Sara took it as like, this is very important as a piece of culture. And it's not their fault that it was written so bad. But then it's also crazy that Anne just like that would even think that character is likable enough.
I don't think that they did want this to really, the character of Che to really be like an upstanding icon of the non-binary community, because like, one, they've portrayed Che as with some of the most harmful stereotypes that there could be for a non-binary person. Like, oh, they have family identity problems. They fuck every single person all around the world. They tell their current girlfriend that they're moving to LA for a while by singing California Girls in a bar. I mean,
still married to their ex-husband.
That's not... We had talked before that if they would have made now, not saying I would have loved it, but if they would have made the character more like, they could have been like a non-binary mentor in Rock's life, or
they never made
something like that.
Yep.
But instead they made it like a really hacky stand-up comedian / queer activist at the same time. I think
we all did agree kind of as an audience together over our research of this first season, that one of the biggest missteps was that they made Che a stand-up comedian, and that they would have been a lot more likable if they had had pretty much any other job, because the fact that you're a comedian but you're so unfunny is irritating and bothersome.
Well, that's incredibly irritating. And maybe it's our knowledge of like, you know, when you're a person like Che who's doing who's like pursuing that entertainment industry career, you're often very kind of a fucked up person. in the head and stuff. And so it's like, I wish we could have, I don't know what the thought process here was, because I think it's challenging, because with Miranda later, when she is talking to Carrie and she's explaining how, you know, she can't let herself get in the way of her doing these things and pursuing love and blah, blah, blah. If, as an audience member, that message would be so much stronger if Che wasn't the person that Miranda was talking about.
Totally, because I was imagining you being Carrie and me being like, can I choose love? And you being like, sweetie, you're 55 years old. And like, maybe, no, that ship has sailed, honey.
I would be like, Miranda, this isn't love. I'm sorry to tell you, but you got finger banged and they rocked your world. And like, I get it. It shakes you to your core. Trust me, honey, I understand. But this person goes around the entire country finger banging every person in every city that they're in. I mean, you need a friend to be real with you. In fact, when they get into their conversation, I know we're jumping all over the place here, guys, but I don't care.
It's fine. We already discussed this whole episode on
when they get into it, Miranda's like, I feel like you're judging me.
Yeah.
If your friend isn't there to judge you, then what the hell? Like, and that's not judging. That is not judging. Again, if they would have made it that Miranda was like, I'm going to leave my family for this other lawyer I met.
I was going to say, what if it was Joy? What if it was Joy?
Then I would understand.
I would be like, I get it, because you have a real future with this person. But right now, honey, this is a midlife crisis.
Even if it was Che, but in the role that Joy was in life. Like, I do think that this feeling that Miranda has rings hollow as an audience member, because we're supposed to then be like, yes, you follow your love story. And I'm like, okay, again, Che fucks everyone around the entire country.
And then also in this economy, I can't like, I'm all for a woman breaking off and doing her own thing, but not when it's this fiscally irresponsible.
Also, if I were Naya,
yes,
and I wrote that letter of recommendation for you, if I were Naya, I would be like,
you're an idiot,
dumbass.
Yeah,
you are a dumbass.
I thought you were different. I thought you weren't this.
I thought you were smarter than this, Miranda. Like, what the hell? And this isn't like, again, if this were love, fine. But
yes, agreed.
Che, that's where I just struggle to believe that they were trying to make Che anything else but a completely flawed character. They had to, like, Che is a very, very, very flawed character for us to root for them to be with Miranda.
Flawed and unlikable, because I don't mind a disaster on my screen. I can get on board with a messy bitch.
Me neither, but if I'm supposed to be watching this and I have a 20-year backstory with this one character and what they've built and who they've become, and I'm going to now have to follow them saying, I'm going to jump off this cliff to be with the person I love, and the person that they love finger banged them once in a kitchen and rocked their world, and now they don't know anything else. Like,
and we have now agreed that we are still not girlfriends. Like, we're not even in a committed relationship.
This person didn't respect you enough to tell you they were going to California. They brought you to a bar, got on stage, and had everyone throw adoration in their face and love them as they sang a shitty rendition of California Girls for you to piece the things together that
and
they're going to California.
There's a girl with finger symbols.
Again, if that's not enough, again, the writers should not have had Che do that if they want us to not, like, what do you think the writers wanted us to feel? I feel like they wanted us to be Carrie in the scene.
Listen to the Writers' Room podcast.
You're a moron,
it's really eye-opening. They think that Che is flawed but likable. They do. They did not write this intentionally.
Completely well,
I do.
Actually, I like Che only from the camp factor, but I don't like if I had to interact with Che.
You and Che would not get along.
Che and I would.
It would be just like oil and water, just like
sometimes really me and other strong personalities can struggle a little. And I would be like, Che, you're a bad representation for all of us. Stop.
You would. You're an alpha.
Smoking in the elevator. I'd be like, girl, I smoke too, but what the hell?
Oh, so
and I don't mean girl in the way that I'm not, I'm misgendering them. I use girl for a man, woman, anything, dog, cat. I will talk to my cat and say, girl, okay.
I would love to see you interact with Che. Because I have a strong personality too, but I'm very beta. Like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Like, if I were Miranda's friend, Che would hate me because I would hate Che. And I'd be like,
you would make it really obvious that you hate
shit about Che to Miranda every chance I got. Miranda would probably hate me, actually, because that is what happens. I've had plenty of times.
That's what I like about you, though.
People don't want to hear the truth sometimes.
Yeah, but you'll just put it. But I also think that you'll also be like, you'll be there if you need a friend. I think you would you do whatever. You'll go on that journey.
I'm itching to fight someone. For someone. So I'm just I am ride or die, but I also you need to understand that I am going to be honest with you. And I think for me, that's what I would want out of a friend too.
Remember when I told you that I was dating that guy that had agreed to only come over when I decided? And you were like, what kind of cuck ass bitch agrees to something like And I was telling you as if I'm like, he's so nice. Like, it's so great.
I mean, for you, that actually works out great. I'm just
but I still broke up with him right after that. So I'm like,
you're too available now.
I don't. I'll just never call you, basically. Okay, let's go from the beginning, but we can just kind of blast through this. We're all excited to get into this. What?
A character appears in the episode, and I nearly forgot they were even a part of the cast. I'm sorry.
Who? But Bobby Lee?
LTW, who appears in the last 5 minutes of the episode, and you're like, oh.
Oh, hi. Herbert's not
on
there.
This show. And then to think that is the character that they held on to in season 3. And they had no character. Tell me what LTW's character development this season was.
I don't think there is development in any of the 3 seasons. She's the exact same. She has that miscarriage.
She made a documentary, almost.
Yeah.
She almost
was pregnant at 52, has a miscarriage. And that's it. All of her storylines are about Herbert.
She did look good in this episode. They made her look pretty good.
Is she on the cover here?
No. Che is. And that extra foamy cappuccino.
And Carrie looks cute, but I'm like, maybe you're too old for that hairstyle.
You know what? I
don't like bows and hairs. Bows and hairs trigger me in such a visceral way. I don't know why, but I don't think girls should wear bows in their hair past the age of 4, 6.
I don't love a bow in a hair, but what really triggered me is Carrie being like, Swedish fish at noon. And Miranda's like, go for it. And then she takes one single Swedish fish, nibbles the world's tiniest bite off of it, and then she does this thing, which I love her, but she has the tensest mouth lip situation, at least in this where she's constantly
her mouth and teeth got out of control in her past 20 years.
She's chewing whatever teeny ass piece of Swedish fish, but she has her lips closed while she's doing it in such a way that it's it's the
I don't ever want to say. I mean, I can imagine her teeth have always been kind of a problem.
I'm not saying her teeth are bad at all. What I'm saying is she keeps such a tight-lipped situation in order to like eat act.
I thought you were gonna say eat ass.
In fact, you know what? And just like that should never have had any more was eat acting. All these women are terrible at it, and you're wanting me to constantly believe that Carrie's eating baguette sandwiches and huge bowls of soup and French fries. Like, girl, stop.
I listen. Oh, that Every Outfit podcast recap. It said the same thing in that recap that they took a really long time to point out when they traded that soup for the sandwich. They're like, in no world is anyone having a huge sandwich and going, oh, I wish I'd had that soup. Okay, let's start at the beginning here. So I thought it was weird that there was no what happened this season.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, was there? Okay,
you didn't have it.
Maybe. Okay, well, anyway, we start out at the podcast. The theme music. We've gone from the most amazing theme music in history, Sex and the City, to now the like underscoring is like da 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 da. It feels like I'm in a video game main screen or something.
The underscoring in music has been the bane of my and just like that existence. From the very first episode when they decided, let's start with the Sex and the City theme and then never play it again until the very final episode when we throw it on at the end as some fake fan service thinking that people will like it. And instead people are completely disgusted by
That's it. Another thing is in that podcast, they're like, I thought that it was just going to they were auto playing the next episode. This is like the Sopranos finale where it bamboozled all of its viewers. Everyone went, what? Okay, so we
couldn't believe that And Just Like That ended with overflowing toilets. That's the problem.
And the thing with the music too is that they have access to these scorings. Like they'll use them every so often.
They use them at such weird times though, because there will be times when a scene is happening and you're like, okay, this could use a little bit of something. It'll be dead silence, and then they'll have other scenes where like she'll be doing something, I don't know, and they'll be playing do 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 do, and it's like, what? I don't.
The one that they do use, and they use it a lot in this, is that they did use on a consistent level was Big's theme, which is the underscoring from the movie that goes. Da, 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 da.
I like that,
and I like that too. It always makes you feel more centered in the world, at least.
I really liked actually a couple moments in this episode. I liked the moment where she's like recollecting and hearing Big's voice, and when she lays down with the lamp. My issue though, and I'm sorry guys, but we're gonna get into Sex and the City like starting next week, and it's gonna be we're not gonna be complaining about every last thing, but
yeah, we'll be positive on it.
And this I think is just a problem of modern filmmaking, television making, whatever. She goes into this dream sequence thing, but the camera work is still so incredibly HD sharp.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That like, why couldn't we have thrown an artistic flourish in here so that it's like, ooh, we're in some kind of thing. Instead, it's just like, I'm now looking and there's a light shining on me, but it's like the most sharp HD possible. Do you understand? Do you know what I mean?
I do understand. And I also thought of another expensive set piece, possibly the most expensive set piece at all. They go to Paris in this episode, to actual Paris.
Which it costs the money to go there. And well, at least
they had to close off the bridge.
The only thing, all they had to do was pack the dress. Now, mind you, watching the documentary, I'm sure Sarah Jessica made them pack up the entire crew, entire dressing room set, so she could try on 12 dresses, walk across the thing, decide which one. And then, mind you, I like the dress.
Oh, I love the dress. I think it's
really, really like it. I do think, unfortunately, I love it, again, but it's falling still into her like obsession with wearing just the most baggy, like just very overt. I know someone's going to come at me and say it's like an empire waist, or it's like it's whatever, where it's here and then it just drops out. Do you know what I mean? There's no shape to it, which if I'm Sarah Jessica Parker, I'm given some shape. I'm not going to wear all these like whatever.
Well, anyway.
She was giving drag in Paris is what I'll say, but I was liking it.
The Paris look is one of the only times in this season where I went, oh.
Agreed.
About the clothes and not like weirded out. Hold on, I'm just going to cough really. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I mean, we've already kind of arrived where we are, but like, I just want to bring up that it opens on the podcast. And Bob, they're having this
a terrible joke.
Yeah, we've been harping on this for the past couple of weeks, but now we're here. Bobby Lee's line is, yeah, there's, I guess the discussion here, the revolutionary podcast topic is worst breakup. And Bobby Lee saying, a girl I know, the last girl I dated got COVID just so she could break up with me. And then Che's like, well, my last girlfriend broke up with me over FaceTime. More like 2 FaceTime. And then Carrie,
wait, Bobby Lee's reaction to Che saying 2 FaceTime is like, he's like, as though he has heard the most revolutionary joke that's ever existed. And
it's
then
more
Carrie,
of a groaner. If you said that on this podcast, I'd go, wah.
Well, I would say it like this: 2 FaceTime, but I'm Ching. I mean, like you'd
acknowledge that it's a bad joke, but Che said it genuinely. Now here comes Carrie.
Does her perfect paper covers rock situation, bringing it back. Well, my husband died. It's like, how many times can we use this on the podcast, Carrie? How many? Because they record this every week, and that's her punchline to like what, everything?
Yeah. Well, maybe not, because Bobby Lee and Che both go, whoa, Carrie. And then Carrie goes, Franklin, can we go to the phone line? And then he's like, oh, this is actually a pre-recorded podcast. That's the way podcasts work. I don't know if this isn't live on the radio.
Yeah, but that's what inspires him. That he thinks that she's so amazing and could really have her own podcast. Mind you, she then has to sleep on it and really think about it, as though her doing a podcast isn't her just sitting in front of a fucking microphone and talking. Carrie, what are you doing? This is not like someone's asking you to go film a movie for 12 months in another country. He's suggesting you possibly try making a podcast. You were just doing a podcast that ended unceremoniously because your boss is going to record a pilot for 2 months in LA and can't do the podcast simultaneously.
Yeah, you know what's so funny is that Mitch, this guy right back here, he did Twisted Metal, and he was in Toronto for 6 months, and they didn't miss a single episode of Joe Wait because they canned some episodes. They banked 6 months of episodes.
Because okay, and I'm not going to even say anything, but like Amanda and I actually, no one else is helping us with this.
Yeah, we don't have a producer or a studio.
All Carrie would have to do is Franklin texts her and says, hey, Carrie, can you get on at 2 p.m.? And she says, sure. And she does 2 to 3. She has to do no prep work. She does nothing because people call into the podcast.
Yeah, and honestly, it would be even better because like us, we can kind of fuck around with the time, but like you're at an actual studio, so you have an actual chunk of time that you have to be out. So like you're in the whole day is 2 hours, including commute.
But she has $500 million, so I kind of do understand being like,
And that's why they should have made her lose her money.
Why did she do the podcast in the first place then?
Because she auditioned though. That's the other thing is that
Che doing that.
Che said at your interview. Mm-hmm. So like, why? Yeah, exactly. Why did she?
Especially because she didn't want to talk about anything. And then, spoiler alert, in season 2, her podcast gets canceled because she won't talk about her vagina.
Her dry vagina, vaginal lube, which is like, it's kind of a slap in the face to your entire audience. which are 90% like females who are about to go through that kind of issue.
I mean, honestly, Carrie doesn't care if she has a dry vagina because she's unwilling to like fuck anyone or have an ounce of fun ever. Oh my God.
It's what, girl, like when I watched that, did I say this on air or off? But I watched 2 episodes of just random Sex and the City. I watched A Vogue Idea. And in that, she has just broken up with Aiden. And she's in like the most depressed she's ever been in her life. And there's still a light and a funniness and a humor to Carrie. She gets drunk at Vogue and like there's life in her.
That's why, I mean, like, I hate to say it, but we are on the cusp here. And just like that ruined Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the humor.
The characters are, that's why this show ultimately doesn't work. And when they showed the minute, the 10 seconds of texting Samantha,
yes,
I teared up.
Could you tell me what she says? Because I get my new glass. I'm going to be a glasses wearer.
Oh yeah. it's like I'm in Paris. Do you want to get a drink tomorrow? And then Samantha says, do you want to get a drink? I'm in Paris. And then Samantha says like, how about tomorrow? And then Carrie responds in all caps, fabulous.
But that's earlier, they also have a texting conversation here. Okay, let me just we're right here.
Yes.
Really quickly, Carrie arrives home from her date with Peter, that teacher that they puked together. And this guy also looks exactly like Franklin. But she's like, look, this isn't going to work
Franklin's way hotter, but.
They both just look like a gray-haired white man, 50s. But she ends it with him because they kiss. And then she calls Seema to be like, the kiss wasn't good enough. Seema answers from this hotel room that must reek because they've been doing nothing but fucking all day. And I think that Seema is super inconsiderate. And like, are you 16? If I'm like talking to my best friend who's like going through this existential crisis and this guy's trying to like stick his dick in me and is like kissing my neck, I would be so bitchy.
We only did this so that we could check in with Seema because again, waste of a character here.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere.
I think,
you know why they do break up? She breaks up with this guy in the next season because he says, oh, I actually live with my ex-wife still for the kids, which I wouldn't have thought is that common, but like I encountered that a lot when I was dating again. A lot of them.
Maybe I'm wrong, but don't they also break up quickly?
Yeah, just like season 3 with the Ravi, is his name Ravi?
Ravi. I can't with this show.
At the end of this phone conversation, so Carrie's saying like it was just lips on lips. It wasn't anything that great. Carrie's lamp turns on. So we have this whole storyline where, and that me and John both agree I think this is a healthy way to process somebody's death. You can have representation of them in your house. You can talk to them. I would totally do this. It's like the volleyball Wilson in Castaway. Like I can see how that would get you through that emotionally, that experience.
Not to sound glib about like Christianity and stuff, but like this is Christianity just in this is religion in just another way. I mean, like that's what people do. That's what the idea of heaven is, right? Is that you this. And Carrie does say it later. I would like to feel that Big is in heaven or up in the sky smoking a cigar because it does give you comfort, you know.
Because otherwise, you just lost them. Like sometimes it might be too much for you to emotionally handle to think that person's actually gone.
Yes, but Miranda, are we there yet? Miranda,
that's where we are. Yeah,
I thought we were on the same page. Like I thought we didn't believe in a higher power.
She goes,
why was this in here?
I don't know.
Why was this in here?
She goes, since when did you believe in the afterlife? I thought we were on the same page about this. And then I don't know why this would possibly matter.
I would understand if you were like, hey, like, okay, let's say I had a friend, okay? And they came to me one day and they were like, I've decided I am now a whatever. And a part of their religion was like hating gay people.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, I would be like, well, fuck you then. But I wouldn't be like, well, but that's not what this is. So you know what I mean? Like, again, I'm confused why Miranda Why'd they have the character do this?
I don't know. And it also isn't even religious. It's more just a spirituality thing because no one knows what happens after you die. But, so like, why does it? When did we all agree that there was no afterlife?
Well, they maybe did. Maybe they like. I have conversations with friends about lots of stuff, but like, I have friends who are atheists. I have friends who are religious. I have friends who are agnostic, whatever. But again, why is Miranda? Again, it's not like Carrie came to you and said, I am now going to be a part of a religion where I'm going to be married off.
I'm now a Scientologist.
I have like, or something like something.
I'm joining the
All
AUB.
your friend is saying is that, hey, like my dead husband that died, that I'm now coming up to the 1-year anniversary, which anniversaries of deaths can be very hard. I'm just feeling like he's with me and whatever. And your friend, your best friend is like, fuck you for thinking that. I mean, like that it's in itself is inconsiderate because again, your friend is dead. Your friend's husband is dead.
And she says, it's just guilt. Get it fixed. Because Carrie thinks that Big is mad at her because she kissed Peter. So, by the way, Miranda's been invited to meet Che's family. So now everyone else has to...
Miranda hasn't been invited to meet Che's family. She's been invited to sit next to them. And then be saying at. There's no meeting, really. It's more like...
I know, but at this point in the...
I'm gonna now go on stage and freaking sing. Oh, here's my grandma's. Bye.
My grandma who doesn't really speak English.
We're meeting at a cafe, and hi, this is Miranda. She's a lawyer. She's currently getting her degree and whatever. We met in the kitchen when I stuck my fingers in her.
How about this? How about your Carrie? Miranda's just turned to you and been like, your husband is not anywhere. He's just dirt. By the way, I'm meeting Che's family. And now you have to pretend like you're excited for her.
Oh, honey.
Like,
oh, honey. I know exactly how I'd eviscerate this bitch. I would be like, oh, well, no.
Yeah, like, do you want, you want me to tell some truths? You want me to get real right now?
Oh, my husband's just buried in the dirt. Well, girl, get your face out of Che's pussy. Enough. Yeah. You're being smothered, woman. You don't even know what the fuck you're thinking.
Probably get tested. The amount that Che's on you.
And trust me, I'm not okay, guys. I'm sex positive. If you're checking in here and thinking I'm like Che's nasty because they fuck everything on earth. No, I'm just asking that the show portray a character better for me to like them more and want one of my main characters who I have a lifetime connection with. To want to be with that person. I don't want them to be with someone who just goes around the country and does bad stand-up and then fucks everyone.
I imagine Brady, like at the end when she has that conversation with Brady and he's being like supportive. And I think of Leon from Sister Wives, Mary's child, who used to be Mariah, now non-binary, I think, or trans. But Leon doesn't fuck with Mary after Mary got catfish because it was so embarrassing. Those banana pics came out. These embarrassing voicemails came out. And I honestly think that Brady would be going through, I don't think I'd be able to get over my mom being this embarrassing and cringy. Yeah, you're a different person to me now.
You're forgetting that at the end, she turns around and she has red hair now.
And it's not vibrant enough either. I wanted the red. The red looks washed out almost.
I like it. I mean, no, I'm not saying a woman shouldn't be allowed to age and have gray hair. I'm not. But throw the red wig on, girl. I mean, it's Sex in the City. Or wait, we don't want that.
Miranda. We don't want nostalgia. I think when I get older and I really want to rock the gray, I still want to incorporate it into some kind of jet. I would have other colors in there.
I think the gray is fine. I think it's fine for Miranda. I think it's fine for her too. But then weirdly, what was the point at the end of her having, and of course she does the movie type turnaround where she's looking back and then it's like oh, look at me now. And it's like,
but it should have been more vibrant. It should have been more shocking. This just looked like it looks washed out red to me.
Well, and it also should have been I did this because I'm a free woman now. I don't know. I mean, that's embarrassing, but like, what was the point then?
Okay, let's go back to
Did she see the light?
Carrie texts Samantha, which I can't read, but I think it's about her kissing the other man. And so, do you know what this was? I think she says, I kissed another man. And then I think Samantha probably says something like, oh, one of many more or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. The light turns back on, this big light. Carrie now, somebody in our comments, I don't know if it was Natasha, but somebody made a very good point that like back in the old days when they were dressed casually, they would actually look normal, casual, right? With that, I think we read it on a episode. Here, Carrie takes her lamp in the next day to like get fixed, and she's dressed casually and she looks so good. I can't even remember what it was, but like I remember thinking, oh, here we go. This is a casual. She's out. It's hot. I don't know what season it is, but she's out on the streets in New York and she still looks fashionable, but it's casual.
I also loved this. This was a nice little storyline going to the lamp place, and like I love it. Down for this, you know.
She was funny in it too, where like no, their guys aren't really responding to her, and she's like, "Is that normal that a light would just turn on and off?" And they're like, "No, it's very peculiar." She's like, "It is peculiar, isn't it?" It was like again more life. We're getting it. We're getting it back. Anthony now is at. This is referencing what you said. How he owns a bread company. Why wouldn't he bring the challah? Well, it turns out that Hot Fellas is now making challah. They don't connect it to the challah. Sourdough, which sounds disgusting. I don't like sourdough bread.
Challah is usually like a very, to me, sourdough. I don't really like sourdough either.
Specifically, not sourdough. It's like they're two totally separate flavors.
Also has like eggs in it. It's like feels closer to like a brioche bread where it's like dense.
It's sweet. Like, you don't need. My first job in Phoenix was working at a Jewish summer camp, and they passed out challah on the first day, and I was like, "What is happening here?" Because they were just breaking off pieces of the bread, and the kids were just putting it in their mouth, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I tasted it, and I'm like, "Oh, you don't even need butter for this." I'm like, "Why isn't everyone eating this every day? This is like the best tasting fucking food in the world."
It's not sourdough, but of course we needed to somehow incorporate Anthony into the. I mean. This was definitely, okay, we got to get each character in the episode somehow. Yeah. Anthony did have one line that I genuinely laughed at later at the They Mitzvah.
Okay. Well, let's wrap this little thing up. Hari Neff, which is that trans actress, she's going to be the rabbi for this, and she's like, I'm just going to break it to you, that kid is not prepared at all. Like, they need to get their shit together. So Anthony goes in and talks to Rock about how unprepared they are. Anthony is still bitter about not getting Sky Masterson in high school, blah blah blah. So he's like, you need to learn this. So now here we go. Miranda walks into Che's little event, and Che's opening line is, "Hey, Rambo, party of one." If I were Sarah Ramirez, I'd be like, no. Think of something else. I'm not saying.
No, you could. I feel like they could deliver it differently, and it would be better. Like, why are we not just making it a joke then amongst yourselves?
The Rambo thing is so gross. Ugh.
I also don't understand that. Like the reference, I guess it's because like Miranda just comes in shooting.
It's because she yelled at Che for smoking Brady out.
Because Rambo's whole thing is they go in with the machine guns and is like, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But like my mind also wants to connect finger banging to like finger.
Right, because of like the gun. Yeah, no, I don't think they're going there. Anyway, Che gets up and they sing.
Called them Rambo before they finger banged them.
Yes, the Rambos before.
Which came first, the Rambo or the finger bang?
Che sings California Girls. It's horrible. I hate every single person in her band. I'm like, you're a bad representation of lesbian. You're a bad representation of lesbian. I hate all of you. I would never hang out with any of you. And I like lesbians, but I hate all of these finger symbols.
I hated that Miranda, Che's like, here, take a seat. Here's my grannies, my grandma, and my abuela. And then is like, hey, everybody. Hey, bartender, give me a shot. And then there is a bar I guess 1 inch from the stage. Never in my life have I seen a stage set up like this, where there's the bar is attached to the stage in a way. And then Che's like takes the shot and is like, let me get another. And then takes the bottle and pours themselves another shot. And then is like, chugs the shot as the music is playing the da-da-da-da, like to the lead in to what they're supposed to be singing. This is going to sound really dumb and minute, but you guys are probably used to that with me. It's like they take the shot and then a millisecond later, they're like,
them East Coast girls.
In a way that like, was there no swallowing? You would have to do something.
Here's another stereotype for, I don't know if it's so much for trans people, but definitely for comedians, is that they clearly have a huge drinking problem.
Well, I mean,
real alcoholic.
Clearly, if you're a non-binary person, it means that your entire life is fucked up and everything is bad in it.
Of course, you have to numb the
pain. You're walking like this, like a poor, sad, non-binary. That's from Che's comedy concert. Remember?
Yeah, no, I know. So Che sings. Miranda's like, "What's happening?" Doesn't know what a pilot is. Che announces, "I'm moving to LA for."
Illogical. Sorry, I don't think we're spending enough time on the grandma being like, "What's a pilot?" and then Miranda being like, "I don't know. I don't know."
I knew what a pilot was when I was like 10 years old, and there was no internet. And I knew what a pilot was.
If you've ever watched a new television show.
Yeah, or like an interview. Like you
know what.
Or if you care about media. But certainly if you live in Manhattan for 40 years.
Miranda's a lawyer.
Yeah.
In New York City.
Anyway, Che goes, "I'm moving to California," which you wouldn't be moving to California. You'd be going to California for 3 weeks. You're not moving.
This again shows the instability of Che, and I guess they want us to just be on an unstable ride with Miranda. I guess that's the point, because Che fully, wholeheartedly believes that they're filming this pilot, it's getting picked up, and they are the new Roseanne. That was the studio thinks that they're the new Roseanne.
Which, for somebody as old and jaded as they've made Che, I don't think that Che would rush to that conclusion. I would almost think that they'd be more of a, like, this is never going to work out type.
Give up your podcast job.
Yeah.
Mind you, guys, a pilot, I mean, I've never filmed a pilot. I don't actually have any idea. But I think filming 1 episode of a television show doesn't take 5 months or
I guess because Che's also developing the pilot. But then here's the other thing is that the writers of Sex and the City work on television. So it seems like they're not even nailing like how it would actually be to film a pilot of a show.
Can Che not help develop that? I don't know. In New York City?
Yes.
Over email, FaceTime, text, Skype, carrier pigeon, anything? I don't.
Here's an easy tweak. Here's an easy tweak they could have made is that Che gets up and goes, "You guys remember that pilot I filmed last year? Well, the show got picked up and now I'm moving to California."
That would have made a million times more sense.
Everything would have made more sense why you got this really nice house to live in.
And we probably still would have been like,
Miranda to go.
"Oh, when was this pilot shot?"
No, I don't think I would have thought that. I honestly think that would have, because we just met Che. If Che was like, "Oh, I filmed this pilot last year," or they could have mentioned it in a podcast. If
they were smart, which they're not, which they don't write out the season. They clearly did not map out their season. Typically, shows map out their entire thing.
Some map out the entire series, yeah.
They didn't map out anything here, but if they would have dropped any on one of Che's things 6 episodes ago, even Che could have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming back from LA from shooting my pilot."
They could have like that could have been where they were in Cleveland. When they went to Cleveland, they could have just said, "Oh, I'm going to LA," and that's where that whole thing happens. Like, this is crazy. You're giving up your entire life to film a pilot. That's an easy tweak. I can't believe no one in the writer's room wasn't like, maybe we should make it a full series.
You know what, though? I also have to ask, what in God's name would make you decide that you're going to take a show that's centered in New York City about a group of people interacting with each other and decide to take two of those characters, move them completely across the country, and divide their storyline from everything else? Why would you even do that?
I can tell you why they did this. I can tell you exactly why they did it. No, they did this because the LA episodes of Sex and the City were so well received.
But they never do anything else. They don't really
ever. Miranda picks up all the garbage on the beach.
Okay, from my recollection, though, of season 2, they don't make the LA part
no, of course not.
Fun, light.
But I think they thought it might be fun to be in LA.
I'm gonna say it has to do with the filming schedule. Maybe
Cynthia does Cynthia film Gilded Age in LA?
Why couldn't Che have just shot a pilot in New York?
Well, because we need to get Miranda out of there. But that doesn't really lead to anything either.
Why does Miranda need to go to LA, though?
Why nothing happens? They come right back. They come right back to New York. They're in New York in like the 3rd episode, right?
So what the fuck?
You know when Miranda goes back? Miranda goes back during the filming of the pilot because Brady's little bitch fit in Germany, in Amsterdam. Because Louisa breaks up with him.
Like, I understand.
Yeah, you're a real child apologist for this show. Okay, let's blast through some of the rest of this. So now we're at the podcast studio. Che's ending the whole thing. And Carrie
just goes there for the free Pringles.
Sure, girl. Che bids adieu to her podcast coworkers. Carrie and Bobby Jackie walk and agree they should be friends, even though these people would never be friends.
Carrie says, you know what I'm going to miss the most about the podcast? You, Bobby Lee.
So Miranda now goes and quits her internship. And, oh, by the way, earlier Che has asked Miranda, I want you to come with me. So Miranda has this would be an email, by the way. This would be a ghosty email to Naya.
Why would Che even ask Miranda to come with? Like you don't recognize this person has a career. They're doing all these things and like
they're going to be in your way too. Don't you know that? This thing is that Che isn't 25 and doesn't realize what life is like when you're an adult. Like they're in they're 50. You would know that like, oh, this is actually going to be a huge distraction for me to have this.
The show leading up to this has never shown Che and Miranda actually just be healthily dating. The last episode, we see Miranda and Che at the diner. Miranda has to call herself Che's girlfriend. And then the two people are like, you fucked my friend in Cleveland. That's the extent of their relationship. Yeah. So again, I'm pissed. Stop pissing on my leg and trying to tell me it's raining. MPK. I'm not buying it.
Miranda goes and quits her internship, and Naya's like, oh, okay.
At this point, Naya, I also believe that like Miranda's not good. You're a good enough friend of yours that you wouldn't be reading her the riot act in this. Like, she's not like your bestie that you need to guard her feelings. I would be like, really?
Yes, I would make more of a comment on like women in the women and like the women's move. I'd be like, I would have made a comment in the style of, I would have thought different of you, Miranda, right? I thought you were someone different than this. Like I'd make a comment because that is true. I thought you were this powerful, rights lawyer.
Let's not say powerful because every time Miranda's around Naya, she's usually like,
but I think even honestly, it might be easier if you're not that great of a friend to be like, that sounds crazy, girl.
That's what I mean is Naya and Miranda are not good enough friends for Naya to be guarding Miranda's feelings about like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings by saying you're stupid for this. But why would you not say you're throwing like what? I would be way more pissed.
It's great. It's crazy.
Like, but I wrote you that really glowing recommendation letter.
But Miranda goes, well, why can't I do something? Why can't I do something for love?
Pursue love.
Carrie's now on her way to meet Big's brother. Oh yeah, there's that whole scene. Seema calls and she's like, oh, I really like this guy that I've been fucking around the clock for the past 3 days. Carrie and Big's brother discuss the family plots. We must have gone over this in our first episode, but I guess I probably would have asked you, like, why can't she just give him half of the remains and then she takes that? Like, aren't you allowed to split those up? I know that people do that.
You can do whatever you
want.
Then
why doesn't she just fucking do that?
Because the show's stupid.
Sucks. She's the bitch. She's a
selfish bitch. Maybe Big, she does, with the funeral, he wouldn't have liked this, he wouldn't have liked that. Maybe he wouldn't have wanted to be in that. I wouldn't want to be in that. That creepy crypt mausoleum thing.
Yes. Well, Carrie now picks up the lamp and they said, well, it was a faulty wire and we fixed it. She's kind of disappointed. And now Carrie attends Bobby Lee and Smoke's fucking party. This
waste of money.
$1 million set. And they get married. Surprise wedding. Girls did it first.
Why?
Franklin's also there. And he goes, you know what? I think you're a podcast. And Carrie goes, how dare you? That was funny. That was at least a funny podcast joke that is still pretty relevant. And he's like, I want to produce your podcast alone talking to college because you always do so well when people call in, even though I don't see how that would even be possible.
And you have that voice.
She does have a good voice. I love Sarah Jessica Parker's voice. It's so like cute.
What's she going to say every time to the people? Well, my husband died, so that's much worse than you.
That's what she says at the end of this episode.
Spoiler alert. Her answer at the end to the question is, you know what? I don't know.
I know.
And life
no one knows.
Not knowing. Like, you're an advice podcast, and the answer we're showing is that you don't know. I mean, like, again, this show is so god dang stupid that they don't even understand how to portray anything in a positive way. They don't get it.
Okay.
Rant yet?
No, I'm listening to you. Latrice just jumped up on me and something wet like jumped on my
vomit. Okay.
I think it was poop. Carrie now okay, so at night, Carrie talks to the lamp and she's like, please give me a sign, give me a sign. Then she dreams about Paris. This was so very clearly the part that Chris Noth was cut out of. You can tell that he was like supposed to be in this little dream sequence.
You can hear his voice kind of.
Yeah. I wonder if they had to give him money for that. Anyway, now we're at the They Mitzvah. Oh, and I think the lamp does blink, right? She goes, that's so you. And I do like that. I don't mind having the little bit of like magic in this episode. Because I actually I would think that most people would like to believe there's something else out there after that. If I find comfort in that. I enjoyed that.
The lamp storyline is like the least offensive thing in this whole
episode. And I'm glad that it never got wrapped up. Like that there was never an explanation for it. I like that it was like, maybe that is big. So we're at the They Mitzvah. And super foamy cappuccino. Carrie now tells the ladies about Paris and Big asses. And she's like, I've already ordered airline tickets and I have hotels on hold. My treat.
I'd be like, I'll be there, babe.
Yeah, I would do. Well,
today?
I don't like traveling though. I would be over it. I keep trying to tell myself, like, I was talking to, I was doing a live and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to go on like a solo trip by myself because John does it. And I feel like maybe I would like it because I like just being by myself and like going to like a museum or something like that. And I'm like, but I feel like after a couple days, would I just be like, fuck this and want to be home? And everyone in the chat was like, yeah, you'd probably hate it. Like you would really not.
Well, you can take breaks. You could have it like.
But I want to come home. Like
that's why I like to like stay at cool places because usually like at least one of the days I just want to like hang out where I'm at, and not.
Yeah, but all my animals are here in Calgary. Okay, I want to be around my pets. Okay, well here we are. So we're at the super foamy cappuccino. LTW arrives. She goes Mazel Tov, but a candy bar for a bunch of kids at 10 in the morning. Charlotte, are you crazy? It's her only line in like this whole episode, right? Miranda now tells Carrie about LA. They're in the bathroom. And Carrie goes, oh, forget I said anything about Paris. I think she's actually kind of being a bee, by the way, I wrote. Because Carrie like storms into the bathroom. And Miranda's like, I just checked. I can actually make this work. And Carrie's like, just don't even worry about it. Okay, just don't even worry. And I actually am on Miranda's side here. Because I feel like Miranda is doing everything she can to try to make this work. And Carrie's just shutting it down.
I want to be on Miranda's side, but I feel like I would be kind of slightly on Carrie's side because it's one of those situations where you're watching someone do something and you Now, like, Carrie's in the situation where she can't really say anything about it, and she needs to be kind of just biting her tongue. And that does put you in a tough spot where you're like,
but then why don't you wish that Carrie would have actually grown some balls and yelled back at Miranda here?
Because all Carrie does, almost with Carrie barely saying anything, Miranda's like, I'm hearing judgment.
True. That
Carrie didn't even say shit. She literally is like, okay.
But then if you're such a good friend, would you let her go? I don't know if I could just be like, okay. I'd have to say, I think I'd have to say, at least say one thing and just so that it's out there. And if they're going to freak out at me, then fine. I'll never say anything again. But like, she doesn't say anything. She immediately goes, why did you care what I think at all? She never once says that she thinks that's a bad idea.
See, I think the show, unfortunately, it's like the years between Sex and the City and Angels Like That didn't exist as a growing for these relationships, because we're still in a spot where, like, I feel like your friend of 40 years or whatever, the conversation just wouldn't be like this. You know, I have friends of 10 years and I wouldn't be talking to them in a way of like, oh, well, oh, you say you're going to go to LA. Oh, I'm afraid if I say anything, you're going to judge me. I mean, like, that's not a 40-year relationship. And so we're jumping in here and we're supposed to be like understanding of either side, but neither side is well written because they wouldn't talk to each other. They wouldn't do it like this. I don't think Miranda herself would hide it the way that she does, because she skirts around it the whole time until she has to bring it up. And that's probably also why Carrie feels weird about it, because Miranda brings it up out of nowhere in a hiding way. And that would annoy me. I'd be like, why'd you hide it? And then be like, well, because I just want love and I don't want to be judged. And I would be like, okay, then, friend, go ahead, do your love thing. And I will be over here not judging. But if I'm here with your love thing, I will be judging, because I am your friend of 40 years. So would you like, I can go stand in the back and we can kind of distance. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll be there once you realize what a shit show this is going to be. I'll be there for
Unfortunately, you. I will be the person who will be there to help you pick up the pieces when this United States of finger banging person, ends up ruining your life. Yeah, I will.
Miranda says, why can't I choose love over an internship? But actually, my next note here, and I wrote this a few days ago, was that Vanity Fair article that I wrote. Is being blind embarrassing? It auto-corrected to that, and I meant to write, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? I don't know why it auto-corrected to that, but I honestly do think that is a conversation here, because I wonder if you'd say this nowadays to a friend. Why can't I choose love over an internship? You'd be like, because that's stupid. That's stupid to do that.
I would support it if, again, full circling here,
it was founded on
wasn't Che. Yes. If it was someone that if this person like was a knight, and if was like they have a super stable life, they're gonna give you stability. Like, if they're going to improve your life,
bingo,
I would be like, cool. But I can see, just because you're blinded in the moment doesn't mean that my blinders aren't on or are on. I can see every red flag coming from this person.
Yeah, I'd almost go so far as to say there's no possible good outcomes here. Like, I can't see a single road to a successful relationship.
Che would have to completely transform who they are for me to feel that you are going to exit this in a good way, that you are going to end up married or whatever. And maybe Miranda doesn't want that, but if you're saying that you love this person, maybe if Miranda wasn't going down the road of love and Miranda's just like, I want to have fun. I want to have fun. My life, like, maybe while it's still annoying, I think if Miranda wasn't saying, can't I just have love, and it was more the angle of like, I just want to be free. I just want to be someone. I want to be this thing. But again, the show fucks themselves over because they say it's not about my sexuality, it's about Che. And so again, you're weighing everything on this character that is not someone anyone wants them to be with. So if that was your point, you succeeded on making the point like, uh-oh, guys, yikes, don't do this.
And it just seems like such a classic midlife crisis. Like, it's just like, this is truly what this is, Miranda. Don't you see that? I would have to say that too, I think.
It would have
like, in what way is this not
better if this episode ended with Miranda staying and not going to LA?
But you got all that comedy with her in LA, like in that silent chamber and stuff where she's naked. We see her vagina.
I don't want to think about it, but it would have been better. It would have been better for the character. I'd have been like, oh, good. You dyed your hair back red because you're now powerful again. You don't need this Che. You don't need Che, and you can stay in New York. You could, like, I want to see these characters empowered. I don't want to see them dragged back down to the pit of despair, you know?
Yeah.
And we said that on our, you know, what would we fix and all that. It's like, I'd like these women to just be strong. Actually, I'd like to see Carrie's privilege taken away, and then I want to see Miranda and Charlotte both doing well.
Well, I was driving yesterday, and I thought of the fact that they had an opportunity to have, like, when Miranda moves into Carrie's house, we're like, well, she should have moved in with, like, Charlotte. Like, they could have done a whole bunch of stuff with, like, roommate situation, just like episodic episodes, like just like funny little like bottle episodes.
I think they wanted to make it too much. And that's because of Sarah Jessica Parker thinking, I don't want to make fluff anymore. I want to make meaningful art and writing, be the writer and the woman. But they really, if they would have kept it like, oh, this episode is all about how Miranda and Charlotte are trying to, like, you know, Miranda's moved into Charlotte's for a couple weeks while Harry and the girls are gone, or the kids are gone. And you know, odd couple. Instead,
go ahead.
Instead, they do the odd couple for one episode with Carrie and Miranda, and it ends with Carrie being like, you ate my yogurt.
Yeah, now with that whole odd couple thing, and then Miranda's walking around naked, there's already an inconsistency there because she lived with Naya for half a season, and there was no issues at all with her being naked. I guess
Naya walks around naked too, I guess is what they're implying. There's
just no continuity. All right, so we're at this They Mitzvah, right? Hari Neff comes out, the rabbi, and she's like, this is clearly a very solid friendship. And now Rock is refusing to perform. Harry tries to bargain with Rock, and then Rock doesn't want to be labeled as anything. But again, sorry, kid, you're living in a society, and sometimes we just have to suck it up and do something because, like, what else are we doing?
One issue they have, and we've mentioned it, is that they've cast kids who are older than the characters they're playing. So Rock is supposed to be playing a 13-year-old. And the way that they're talking, I can understand the way it's written. Like, I could understand a 13-year-old saying the things that Rock is saying, but it's in the way. This is a nuance that, like, someone would be like, I don't even understand what the fuck you're talking about. But, like, it's an older person trying to act younger, but then trying to make a point that we're supposed to, like, do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
like,
that is a mature point.
There's a alignment in the way that it's done. Just like with Lily being 30 and
like actually 28.
Like, they're both trying to play down in a way that it doesn't work, because then you know, Rock makes this point, like, I don't want to be labeled as anything. I don't want to be non-binary. I don't want to be this, that, blah, blah, blah. And then is like, I'm 13. Can't I just be me? And it's like,
well, you are actually, like, through blood Jewish. So you are Jewish.
That is true.
Can you just get up there and read the fucking Torah?
Can someone let us know in the comments?
Oh, someone yelled at us last time we did this about it. Look, all the religious trauma. I don't even have a.
That part. No, that part I don't. Whatever.
This is more of a parenting issue.
I'm talking about if I would understand feeling some kind of way about Rock not going up if Harry and Charlotte had been, if they were like Carrie, not Carrie Bradshaw, but Carrie White's mother in the movie Carrie, who is like beating her to read the Bible and stuff. Like, Harry and Charlotte have been pretty fucking cool. The whole time to everything. They've forked over what seems to be $150,000 or more for this. You can't just get up there, and even if you are lying, you can't just be like Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu.
It's like, a party, like, you're fine. Anyway, and that's the other thing is I don't think Rock specifically, just like you were saying, Rock doesn't have religious trauma based on their life.
That's more what I'm getting at is like, I understand that point of someone being like, you shouldn't be forced to be in a religion, blah, blah, blah. They're not really forcing them. And in fact, it's almost to a point where they're like, can you just get up? Like, that is what they're saying. What do we need for you to get up there and just do it?
My parents made me go to a Catholic school, and we never, like, we are not religious at all, but it was more like, like the schooling is a little better. So you're gonna go through like the first communion and the second, and the
you did all those,
I did all that, and like, and even that, it was just like, well, we're doing this just because this is the next thing you got to do, and then we just came home and like never discussed it again. Like, it wasn't
I did all that too until confirmation, and I kind of was like a little Rock because we got to confirmation. I said that I didn't agree with. Because the idea of being confirmed in the Catholic Church is that you are declaring that you will be Catholic and live up and blah 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 blah, carry the word of God and blah blah. And I was like a young whatever, and I was like, I don't agree with the teachings, and I'm not going to say that I believe with all of this stuff. So I was like Rock, actually, and my mom did not force me to go through with confirmation. In fact, she told me how proud of me that she was because I had my own whatever. So, but the difference here is that all happened not the morning of some huge celebration that my parents had planned that I have to get up in front of people and do something. No, this was like at our home. It had absolutely no, you guys know what we're getting at, right?
Well, this ends with Charlotte. Charlotte goes up and sings the Torah, which I actually don't mind this either because we at least watched her journey. Yes, it shows her journey.
This I was okay with. They should have had a slight line though. I wish Charlotte would have said like, "I finally got to have my bat mitzvah," or bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. Bat mitzvah's for a girl, right?
But this is a bay mitzvah.
Yeah, but Charlotte's a girl. So now it's a bat mitzvah. Whatever. I didn't hate this because in Charlotte's journey, she did become Jewish later. And
would she not have had to do that? Or does she get like, is it baptized? She goes through some kind of.
Yeah, she does all those things because she goes and meets the rabbi and she has like classes, remember?
No, I do remember that, but I wonder if they would have had. Do they have people when they convert when they're older do something like that? Because at the Catholic Church I sang at every year they would have adults doing their first the baptism in front of everyone. In front of.
I don't think there is baptism in Judaism. Is there? Someone let us know. Actually, I don't know.
I would like to know what happens when you convert later on. Because my Auntie Debbie converted to Judaism for.
I wonder if they kind of like roll them all into one thing where like when you convert. You do it all like here.
There's a ceremony of some kind, I think. But I sang at my aunt's wedding, and it was like it was really cool actually. And at that time, I was like really watching Yentl pretty hardcore. I dressed up as Yentl for some like singing competition I had. So I went to her husband, and he gave me like a prayer shawl and all this shit. I was fascinated.
Did you dress up as Yentl for the wedding?
No, I wore this like gown and I sung, "How do I live without you?"
The Jewish classic, "How do I
live?" Anyway, Brady and Miranda now both leave to the airport because he's going to Amsterdam and she's going to be.
And now they're friends again because they both have red hair.
Carrie now in Paris on the bridge looking stunning and pours the ashes. And we end with Carrie's awful podcast and her and Franklin kiss in
truly awful podcast.
Just the worst. She's giving no advice. The girl's like,
the answer literally, guys, is you never know. Life can take you everywhere. It can even take you to Paris. You don't know what'll happen. So I don't know. Great advice podcast, Carrie. Great.
And then her and Franklin are in the elevator and they kiss. And then the last line is
chemistry.
The last line is, and just like that,
my pussy was wet again.
There's no anything. It's just dum 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 dum. Okay, like it was a lot to watch. Yeah, just like that. What?
I got laid again.
Yeah, I fucked. So great. We're done.
We're done. They couldn't have done a chemistry read with Franklin before they cast him. I mean, they knew where they were leading with this, and they didn't have chemistry. I can't. They didn't do a chemistry read between Bobby Lee and Carrie because they're besties, and they we're supposed to believe. I can't. You know what? I can't, and I'm glad because I'm glad we're at the finale of season 1 because I'm gonna have an aneurysm. So I'm really glad to next week be getting into season 4 let's the City.
I'm gonna read the episode description on here so that we can kind of get revved up.
Yay!
Oh wait, season 4, episode 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The agony and the ecstasy. This is where, oh my God, Carrie wears a cape in this episode and gloves, and Samantha wears that fur jacket and the purple gloves, and it's called The Agony and the Ecstasy. And when the quartet is invited to an engagement party, Carrie and Miranda feel like outcasts. Meanwhile, Samantha, what? This isn't right. Is this right? I thought this was Carrie's birthday party. But okay. No, this is okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna pause this for a second.
Oh, that's oopsie. Oh, you're pausing?
Okay. The episode description I found is really weird and it focuses just on like the friar, but John found an actual accurate.
Carrie thinks about men and the future when no one shows up for her birthday party. Miranda confronts her married friends about her single life. Charlotte tries to deal with her separation from Trey, and Samantha tries to seduce a celibate monk. And you know what? Just the fact that I got to say the name Samantha in the thing already has me so happy. I cannot wait. And you know what, you guys, make sure that you're watching. Make sure you're listening. Maybe you just need a breath of fresh air back into Sex and the City, because even though we may not snark on those as much, it gives us more opportunity to kind of like talk about some of the actual topics and the sex about it. And have we ever been with a monk before? I mean, spoiler alert.
I worked in the church for 20 years. There was some sexy priests that came through that church. They would slide through.
Oh, honey.
And be in and out and be gone. No one ever talked about them again. I was like, oh, something happened.
In and out, exactly. Yeah. Goodbye. We love you guys so much. Hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, share that, and the other 5 stars on this podcast places. And good night.
Bye. Love you.